The 2025 TV show lineup is absolutely insane. Hello everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my channel. 2025 has an absolutely amazing lineup of TV shows, both new and returning. Today I'm going to give you my top 10 most anticipated TV shows of 2025. Kicking off the list at number 10, I have Andor Season 2. This was a new Star Wars show that came out a couple of years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I think Diego Luna did a great job in this role. I love seeing this side of Star Wars. It's a lot more serious. No like lightsaber battles and all brand new characters. And I really like it. It's a lot more serious side of Star Wars. And I thought it was great. And the fact that this season is going to go a lot further in depth. We're covering about 12 years of story. I read that every 3 episodes is going to cover about 4 years, and there's going to be 12 episodes in the season. So I think it's going to be great. I think they're saying it's going to drop sometime in the spring of next year, so I'm ready for it. At number 9, I have You Season 5. I really enjoyed this show. I think it's reminds me a lot of Dexter and vice versa. Dexter reminded me a lot of this because I watched this before I watched Dexter, but the kind of Penn Badgley plays this role so well. He can be so creepy yet so charming at the same time. The way we hear all of his thoughts doing his voiceovers, I love. The way he's able to work himself out of absolutely crazy situations in every single season is great, so entertaining, and I just cannot wait to see how they wrap everything up in this final season. Number 8 on my list is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This is a new Game of Thrones spinoff coming to HBO Max or Max. Not much is known yet. We don't have any trailers or anything like that. We just know a very small premise, but I'm super down for this. I love Game of Thrones. It is my favorite TV show of all time, so I'm always excited for a brand new spinoff. I cannot wait to see more of this world, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it and where they go. Number 7 for me is going to be Dexter Resurrection. I just recently watched all of Dexter last year, and I absolutely loved it. It has become one of my favorite shows. Seeing the villains that Dexter had to go up against in each season was great. Every season he had very interesting situations that, again, he had to work himself out of to avoid getting caught, and just so much happened throughout the show. I love Michael C. Hall in this role. He plays the character so perfectly, and I cannot wait to see him back in this lead role in Resurrection. I think it probably won't stand up to the original Dexter series, but I am excited to see more of him and excited to see what they do with it. At number 6, I have Daredevil Born Again. I loved the Netflix Daredevil series. Charlie Cox, again, plays this role very well, and we've seen him a couple of times here and there throughout the MCU, but it's really just been more as cameos, and in She-Hulk, he really was played more as a joke just that style just did not fit his character. So I love that they're going back to the roots. They're making it grittier. TVMA. Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back as Kingpin. They're finally going to be facing one another again, and I think this sounds awesome. Punisher is coming back, so I'm super pumped for this show. I think it's going to be a great follow-up to that original series. Number 5 for me is going to be Gen V Season 2. I love The Boys, and I love this spinoff. I think this carries the same tone, the same gritty violence and the action that you want from The Boys, and still kind of makes its own thing, following these teenagers that are in college, but they still have superpowers and use them for good and for bad in very violent ways. It's very entertaining. I'm excited to see what they do with season 2, and I think season 2 is going to be very important leading up to season 5 of The Boys coming out coming out in 2026. So I can't wait for another season of this show, and if it's anything like season 1, I'm bound to absolutely love it. Number 4 for me is Peacemaker season 2. I loved the first season. James Gunn did such a phenomenal job with it. His writing was brilliant, and what I love so much about the show and why it worked so well is James Gunn took a character that pretty much everybody kind of hated in the Suicide Squad. He was a genuine asshole for most of that movie, and with Peacemaker, he was able to humanize him and add so much depth to his story that we actually cared about him and wanted to see him succeed. And James Gunn is just so good at doing that, at humanizing his characters, at truly making us understand them. And so I cannot wait to see more of this character and what he does in season 2. I think it's John Cena's best ever acting performance. And I love the gritty violence of it. And so if this season can continue all that and the humor, I think it's going to work really well. James Gunn, I believe, is writing and directing all 8 episodes of the season, so I'm sure he can pull it off. Number 3 for me is Reacher season 3. I love this show. Alan Ritchson is the definitive version of Jack Reacher, in my opinion. He completely embodies everything that character should be. He's big, he's strong. When you picture Jack Reacher from the books, this is who you imagine. I liked Tom Cruise. I don't think those movies were bad, but he's definitely not what I pictured. This Alan Ritchson is the version that I imagine for sure. And in this season, he's going to be going up against someone even bigger and stronger than him. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he gets around that, what he does, what he has to do. I've loved both seasons so far, so I have no doubt in my mind that I'll love this one as well. My runner-up is The Bear season 4. Again, The Bear is probably one of my favorite shows of all time. I love to cook and I love watching cooking shows, and this takes that to the extreme. It has the tension. It's action-packed without actually having any what we would consider action. The dialogue is brilliantly written. Every actor does such a great job, and I cannot wait to see how they close everything out with this. I believe season 4 is the final season, and there were so many questions we had at the end of season 3 that I cannot wait to have answered in this season. But coming in number 1 for me is Stranger Things season 5. I absolutely love Stranger Things, and with many of these, it's one of my favorite shows. I absolutely loved what they did with season 4. I think season 4 is actually my favorite season of the bunch, and everything they're saying about season 5 so far, that every episode is going to be pretty much feature length. It's going to be the final season. This is all going to tie a bow, wrap everything up for this show, and I cannot wait to see where every character ends up at the end of this season. Probably not every character is going to make it out alive, and there's going to be a lot of theorizing and a lot of excitement buzzing around in 2025 until this show releases. Everybody's going to go nuts for it. I think it could have a record when it finally releases on Netflix, and it's just going to be great to finally get answers to see how everything wraps up in the pretty much the biggest Netflix show of all time. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 most anticipated TV shows of 2025. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below, and stay tuned for the rest of my videos coming out this year very soon. Until then, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching movies.